happening, party people? Welcome to Punch Bowl Party. My name is Daniel. This is not Father Greg. This is Colm Line. So, we have been trying to do this top 10 list for the last couple weeks. Father Greg got sick, then Colm got sick, and so now I'm just throwing in the towel and we're just doing this video over hell or high water. So, party people, you know what these lists are all about. These are people that we love, and these are games that they love. And so on this channel, we just talk about games that we're playing. We just talk about games that people that we love. We just share the love and joy of board games. And that's what this channel's all about. It doesn't have to be the new hotness. It might be the new hotness, but it might just be this old game that's been kicking around since 2013 that we just love to play. You've been watching on that side of the camera. You're a party person.
I have been over there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now you're here.
I'd say it felt weird coming down here because I've like been down here, but not like in this moment.
That's right.
And I was like, I feel like I'm like in the Holy of Holies or some synchro. And then
that's right. Put a rope around your waist so that they can tug you out when you're done.
I'm excited. I'm nervous about our friendship after this.
The party people are going to love your top 10. They're going to love it.
I think there's a little bit for everybody.
Yes. So how did you come up with it?
So, first off, lots of anxiety and stress. I was like, I need some like way to go about it. And so it was a couple top tens ago was Father Dan. And he talked about, I think it was the idea of like, if someone put this game in front of me, would I want to play it? Or some version of that.
Yes. What games do I want to play right
now?
now?
Yeah, that's how I did it. So I visualized it. If this game was in front of me, would I want to open the box and play it?
Okay, let's jump into it.
Number 10, Seven Wonders.
Wow.
7 Wonders,
yeah, of course Seven Wonders is on this list.
It's great.
How did you get introduced to Seven Wonders?
You?
Did I introduce you? I don't think so.
Honestly, I don't know. I played it the most kind of with you, and then you teaching it with my kids, and then playing more with my kids because you taught them how to play it.
Okay.
But I do think I maybe played it before.
Yes.
But it kind of got into the rhythm to be a contender in this list.
Yeah.
When you came back around.
Right.
I'm a little bit of the analysis by paralysis guy.
Yeah.
For sure. Just context.
Just analysis paralysis.
And so I think I like, I love Sushi Go. I love different things of the moving the hands around. And so, changes it up, but also you can have a bit of a plan, but your plan has to be a little bit flexible. But there's only so many things to consider. So it's not overwhelming. That's right. So even the different cards of the different ages or whatever, the ability of like, you get the one for free if you have that or whatever.
Yes.
I just like the mechanism and how it works.
Thrilling. I say Seven Wonders is thrilling.
No, I wasn't going to say thrilling.
Fine! Don't say thrilling.
Fulfilling.
Oh.
Okay, number 9. This 100% is a Dan influence because it's a Dan gift, I think, to my family.
Okay.
And it's a game, we were talking earlier before, of like how many times you have to play it to get on the list. It got into my top 10 very quickly, and I don't play it as much as I want. It's Quadropolis. I really, really enjoy Quadropolis.
Quadropolis is amazing.
Yeah, it's a great little game. So just like you're building your city, and you're lining your factories, and your parks, and your apartments, and then you got to, energize them with the cubes or whatever it is.
Yeah, this is a quintessential city building game.
Yeah.
Where a newer game that maybe more people are familiar with now is Meadow, where it has this core mechanism where you have this kind of token. There's a grid of cards, and then you put this token on the end of a row or a column, and whatever the number of the token is, that's how far you go in. You select that. In this case, it's tiles. And so it's a grid of tiles, and you have your 4 kind of arrows. Like, I think they're 1 through 4. In the advanced game, I think it's 1 through 5.
Yeah.
And you get to... So you're restricting your selection. I think that this is a beautiful way. I'm always a big fan of game mechanisms that are like simple, but then create a really nice puzzle because of their simplicity.
Yeah.
And this is something that does that, because you might want, a taller apartment building, but because of the tiles you have right now, you don't have access to that apartment building. And so you have to kind of pick your next best move.
I often say, like, blessed are the flexible. You have a plan, but it's like, your plan has to have a certain bit of give and take on it because somebody's going to screw you.
Yeah,
it's just right.
Because not only is there restriction on what tile you can take, but then once you take that tile, you're restricted on the quadrant you can put it in based on where you took it from.
Yeah, that's I think my favorite part and the most frustrating part in the same go.
That's right.
Is I like how that matches.
Yes.
But you never get through a whole game where both sides work well for you.
That's right.
And you just have to deal with it.
That's
and
right.
I was like, this is life.
This is life. It's never going to work out for you.
Number 8 on my list is Karuba.
Karuba, yes. So this is definitely my fault. I think I've made everybody fall in love with Karuba.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But you don't get all the credit because, as you just saw a little bit with Quadropolis, is like, I love tile games.
Yes.
Tile placement type of games. Slash bingo. A little bit.
That's what this is. This is
essentially
bingo.
And it's just, I think I love it. I mean, we use it at our church game night that we do. It's always there. It's very easy to teach.
It's a standard.
And I'm often teaching and getting people in, and like it's an entry one just to get people going, and everybody always enjoys it.
Yeah, there are quite a few couples in the parish that like they don't own many games, but they own Karuba because they played it over at my place or whatever on like a double date with Sarah and I or something. And
easy for my kids to play it, specifically my second oldest. He sometimes gets overwhelmed by games with a lot of instructions, even if they're not complicated, but just the amount of it. Right. There's not a lot of instructions to get that game going.
No.
You know, and so I'm trying to empower my kids now to be game masters a little bit of like when the neighbors come over. And so like that's maybe on my list maybe to get in the house because that's an easy one that he can get his buddies to play with him.
Yeah, and the best thing about Karuba is that everyone is on an even playing field. Everyone has the exact same chance to do well in that game until you start making your choices. Then you start getting diverse, and you know I might have discarded a tile that you placed somewhere on your map, but it's great. It's really great. You're all trying to solve the same puzzle, trying to get all your adventures to from the same locations to the same temple location.
And it's fun that like you're going and it's fairly snappy. So you don't have time to have analysis paralysis or look and be like, oh, Dan did it that way or whatever. And it's like, well, buddy's calling the next one. Like, you're just moving. And then at the end, then you could look and be like, oh, I should have done that. And so that actually makes it, like, very replayable is how you set the board is different every time.
I played this one with my mom years ago, and she just got herself stuck in a circle. Like, her adventure could go nowhere. I was like, Mom, what did you do?
We're going on to number 7. I'll try to pronounce this one correctly. It is your wife's favorite board game of all time?
Potentially.
Raja of the Ganges.
Rajas of the Ganges. Yeah. It made it.
So this was one that like I've played once, twice.
Only once.
Once, I think.
Yeah.
I loved it, which is like ironic because this game has a lot going on. This board is nuts. Like you have dice and then it's like you place your dice and you're trying to get points, but there's many different paths to do that.
Yeah.
And it's kind of overwhelming. But I think the way that it worked for me was like all the paths are actually like pretty simple. Like the mechanism of the game is not complicated. And so it just gives you options. And you just pick an option and then it's like there's so many. I actually don't get stressed about did I choose the right one or not because there's just so many going on. And so I just go off into it and the board is just bright and colorful. And I just had a blast playing it. Really
it makes you feel really good about life. It's just like I'm about to have fun. You can just tell because there's 4 different colored dice. The dice are translucent.
Yeah,
just everything is just really tactile about the game. And then what else is going on is it's a really great implementation of worker placement, kind of dice drafting. I wouldn't even say dice drafting. You're kind of like you're placing workers to gather dice, and then you're spending dice when you send workers to different spaces and things like that. So. There's only a couple spaces where you actually put a dice on the board. You kind of got 2 things going on. You got your main action selection, but then you also have this river that's going up the middle of the board, and that's giving you bonus actions. And then you have this economy of like buying and selling goods based on
market type of thing.
Yeah, based on the buildings in your territory, in your kingdom, or whatever you're going to do. And that's where it gets weird for me. I still like it, but that's where this probably comes to life for you because it's a tile placement puzzle thing.
Tiles again.
Yeah, so you're building like a path with your buildings and trying to get them all connected to the main house in order to then say, okay, I'm going to the market and I'm going to sell my 3 buildings that have whatever spice. And then it's the classic, it's the kind of Ark Nova sort of maybe got inspired by this. I don't know, but you got the money track and you got the prestige track.
Yeah.
And you're scoring them kind of opposite, and then when the 2 things meet, that's when the game ends, and whoever got the farthest difference.
Yeah, I like that scoring track too.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention that. I was like, oh, this is unique. Number 6.
Number 6.
Dice Town.
Nice! This is it. This is what games are all about right here, baby.
Just gambling, trying to make a poker hand with dice.
Get that horse. Keep that horse. Don't let anybody steal that horse.
My kids love it. I was like, what are we doing? We're playing poker with dice. And it's just crazy and fun, and I put that on my radar, and then our family loved it, and we tracked down a copy.
Yes.
And again, another one that is it gets played a lot in my house. It's very easy for my kids and whatever, and people at different levels of gaming. Mm-hmm. Hey, you just want to have a good time and roll some dice, make some poker hands, and go to the saloon and get Doc Bad Luck. And it's just again, options, but not overwhelming and simple. Yeah, a lot of chance and some randomness, but but enough little strategy to make yourself feel like you have some say of what's going on.
But I mean, what's really nice, kind of the core mechanism here, you got dice in a dice cup, so it's nice and noisy and stuff. Yeah. But then you can always keep one of your dice. And then you have to pay $1 for every subsequent dice that you want to keep for that particular dice roll. And that creates the strategy. That you now have some leniency where, like, I rolled really well. Well, you can pay to keep that. Or you can push your luck and just take the one free one and keep going along, or you can buy just one more dice. And
so the dice, the different symbol does the things like 9 is gold nuggets and 10 is money and Jack is.
So there's two things. So it's either the best poker hand, which is going to get you the properties at the end of the row, at the end of the lane. There's these property cards which have victory points on them.
Yeah,
and that's going to be best poker hand gets those plus spades. You can get more for every extra spade you have in your best poker hand. But then along the way, then you're looking for majority. So whoever has the most queens, whoever has the most jacks, whoever has the most kings will get the benefit of those locations down the whole just western town road, just your typical.
Yeah, we're in the old town.
Yeah.
And it's just really, really enjoyable, and it's just loud and tactile, and my family's filled with people with ADHD. And it's like, we got dice, and we can shake things, and just checks those boxes. But then, the little bit of like, oh, I'm going to be really aggressive, or just do what the dice has, or it's like, I'm going to go for money because I want money later so that I can go for the poker hand when the real, victory points or the bigger cards come. And so, like...
You can strategize.
So you can do, a surprising amount of strategy in a game that is filled with a lot of love. Yeah. I love it. Yeah.
It's great.
It's great. With 5? We have 5.
5.
This is not Dan influence at all.
Amazing.
Dutch Blitz.
Nice. So, I hate Dutch Blitz.
I know. Our family loves it. Just a classic card game where you're, doing your own little solitaire, but then there's like community solitaire piles.
Yeah.
It's fast and furious and madness. You got to look at your colors and if it's a male, female, and you're matching whatever. It's just it gets played tons in my extended family. It's just pour yourself a rum and coke after Thanksgiving supper and just go to town with some Dutch Blitz. I come from a family of card gamers. Sharon does as well. This is where we merged, and so our family has kind of embraced it and carried it on. And then we try to bring people into the fold, but
no, I have no interest in playing this game ever. And it's a classic. Just like this is a dexterity game.
Yes.
You're going to call it a card game, but it's a dexterity game. You have to be quick. You have to be fast. You have to have cat-like reflexes. And people who are practiced in the movements and in the recognition game, they're just going to do better.
Yeah, so I 100% admit that, right? Like noobs will get owned at this game, right? Like, and so there's I get that criticism of games is like, you want a game where a new person can feel you have a chance to win. Like, I approached Dutch Blitz as like, here, let me destroy you for 10 rounds so that you become decent at this game. It's like a rite of passage type of thing.
That's right.
And that's not for everybody, right? Some people it's just like, I'm done with that. Yeah, and again, I'm more tactile and that kind of stuff, so I like card games. I struggled a little bit on this list because it was like, board games. And I was like, because it is very, like you said, it's not card game is even a bit of a stretch, but
but it is like this.
But is just the idea of the dexterity and the quickness and that matters almost more than what's even on your card.
Yeah, like this has a worthy spot on this list for sure because tons of people love it and it's going to connect with a lot of people.
Yeah,
but like when I play most modern games, even if I haven't played it before, I can sit down and I can think my way through how to do decently well at the game based on my other previous experiences with other games. This is just my motor skills haven't developed enough to do anything.
Blame your genes.
That's right.
Number 4, Ticket to Ride.
Ticket to Ride. I got Ticket to Ride.
I didn't give a specific version. We have the original. We have Europe. We have India, I think, in our house. Okay. I like Europe a lot, but for the sake of this list, we're just going with the classic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got trains. My dad worked for CP Rail, train company in Canada for years. I want cards. I want multicolored techno train cards.
I want rainbow trains.
I want rainbow trains. So I can sneak and take that route before you and really tick you off.
You can play this mean-spirited.
You can play this game mean-spirited. Again, great family game. Comes over. I mean, it takes a little bit of time, but it's just nice. Pace. You can have a little conversation while you still play. I'm a talker, so that works well.
That's right.
And yeah, then you can have it as casual, but then you can make it a little cutthroat, depending who you're playing with. And that's fun too.
That's fun too. Not as fun.
I also, when I was younger, don't really care about actual details of trains, but I do like geography. I do love maps. In my spare time when I was 10, I learned all the capitals and states of America.
So you're really good at this game.
It makes no difference whatsoever. I do love maps, right, and whatever, and the idea of routes and.
I like trains.
Number 3.
Crokinole. This list is starting to look a lot more like Dan's.
I was saying there's a little Dan in here for sure, but
Crokinole's fine because this is a top 100 board game.
It is. This one I'm comfortable being in there. I'm comfortable with my list, but I was I know Dan had it and going in there stuff, but I was I 100% love Crokinole, so I couldn't not put it on this list.
It's a great game.
I was a little surprised how high it was. But then I couldn't really bump it down to the other ones. Because going back to that idea of if it was put in front of the table, would I want to play it right now? And the answer with Crokinole almost is always yes. Again, tactile, especially if you have a really beautiful Crokinole board, and the nuggets and the little bit of strategy, right? Mm-hmm. But luck and the dexterity and just easy to relax around the table. It's very much my style. It's not a board game, but that's me sitting around the basement playing pool. That's what we did in our family.
Right.
Crokinole gives me that vibe.
Yes.
So that's why I really enjoy it.
And I feel too, because of sliding things, sliding things, flicking and sliding.
Yeah, and there's just something when you just land it perfectly, right? And you get that 20, it just
great pick.
You're okay with that?
I'm okay with it.
I hope you're okay with that. I think I finished well.
Okay.
I don't have to look at my sheet for the two. I remember this.
You remember your top 2?
I'm ready to go.
Wow.
Aren't you impressed with me?
Wow, you're an Einstein.
Number 2, Dogs of War.
Yeah! I was wondering if this was going to... Because if this had made number 1, then I would have made 2 of my friends have Dogs of War as number 1.
Yeah, again, Dan gets the credit for this one. Again... Lots of I don't even call yourselves. You're not even a general. You're war master. You're warmongers, essentially, yeah. And so you're kind of betting on battles. And then, so you're placing your little dudes and you're going to draft every round. What you're going to do, round ages or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then you're also trying to back clans or tribes or whatever, the families. That's
houses.
What it is. Houses, I guess. And so they have the cute little banners, and then you can go up the banner track, and some of it you can tell what the other players are doing, but some they could have secret banners that they're stacking up to get points.
Yeah.
And you can flip sides of which battle you're backing, and it's
with a particular tactics card. Yeah.
Yeah. I really, really enjoy it. Again, options, but not overwhelming. Also, just the pieces and the board, I think, are quite beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah, really, really, really fun. When he first brought it out and started explaining to me the first time, I was like, buckle up here. This is going to be a long night. But I loved it, and I've loved it every time I've played it since.
Yeah, well, it's tug of war. It's 3 separate tugs of war that you are playing, and you play 5 rounds of the game. And it's wild because it's neat because in a particular battle, you play a worker, kind of like a captain, and a soldier card. And the soldier card has a value. And that's how many spaces you're going to move the token towards your side of kind of the tug of war. So it's really neat because one player's turn, they could go and they can move the thing 1 or 3, and then you can come around, you can move the 7 the other way. And so it just really like...
Yeah, tug of war is a perfect description. And then each of your warmongers has a different like ability, which is kind of neat. And so that's why I like playing at different times is, I really hate the umbrella lady or whatever. So I'm going to be her the next game and go. And,
right. I'll be her so that I don't have to put up with her. Are you ready?
I said, are you ready? Number 1 on my list is Skull King.
Skull King made it number 1.
Yar, watch out for the Kraken.
Oh my gosh. You are a card game player.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm happy though. I like Skull King.
It's fun. I was like shocked, but then I like went over and I was like, yeah. Like again, going by how I was going through my list, if it came, would I want to play it?
Yeah.
And it's one. I haven't played it tons. Now own it, but we went on a canoe trip a couple years ago and then went again this year. And it was like a highlight of the trip for a lot of guys.
Yes.
And I think that's why it was so ingrained. It was like a core memory essentially of this game. And like, again, I grew up with cards. So this is why I was comfortable. It's a newer game to me, but it's in that world of cards that I loved. Grew up playing hearts and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Trick taking. You know, I know this Wizard or something is like a version. This is like a...
So yeah, this is similar to Wizard, but yeah. The thing that I love about Skull King is superficial, but like the art, it's beautiful. Like, it's a beautiful game. Sailing ships and mermaids and pirates and the whole 9 yards. And so it's really, it's just captivating for the eye while it's a very solid traditional trick-taking game. Up and down the river, I think Father Greg says this is very similar to.
Okay, like, I don't know that one.
Oh Hell, kind of that sort of style of trick-taking game is what you're looking at when you're playing Skull King.
Yeah. Some of the deepest laughs of my lifetime in the last couple of years is around playing this game. And and again, a little bit of luck, a lot of goofiness, but some strategy in there. Mm-hmm. Just accessible, fun, and the pirate theme. Yar, who doesn't love pirates?
Yeah, that's right. And the thing is like the way that the trump action works in this game is just nuts.
Yeah.
Because it's like pirates beat numbers, but the Skull King beats pirates, but mermaid will beat the Skull King, but pirates will beat mermaids. And so it's like depending on the order of how things come out.
Yeah, so in a different round, something that could be trumped can get trumped out in the other next trick. You know?
Yes.
And then like black is like the trump color.
Yes, that's right.
And then these special cards trump that. And like, that's my list, Dan. How'd I do?
Hey, you did great. Well, there we have it, party people. That's Colm'S top 10 board games of all time. What do you say? Down in the comments below, let us know. And of course, as always, based on Colm's list, what are games that you think that he'd enjoy if he were able to get his hands on them and play them based on his selections of what he likes. So let us know what you thought of this down below. And party people, if you like this video, please press the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not already a party person. And until next time, party people,
have the best time. Day.